read my lips through the telephone, I am not interested. I would hang up, they'd call back. Don't call me, I'll call you. I'd hang up, they'd call back. Read my lips through the telephone, I'm not a prospect, I'm not a suspect, and it would not do me any good to look at what you've got anyway. If I lacked it, there's nobody out here in these woods to talk to. I can't call anybody in Dallas, they won't talk to me. I have no credit and no credibility. And then the letter came from the bank. They're coming to get my trailer house. I managed to get 2 payments past due in the trailer house, and I'm reading the letter from the bank, and I'm saying, you know, I had enough trouble moving this girl into a trailer house. I've really got my hands full trying to move her into a tent. And the letter said, we are coming to get your trailer house. You know the difference between a $2,400 a month house payment and a $400 a month trailer house payment? Well, there is none. If you don't have the $400, they come and get those trailer houses too. And in the process of all of this, I became ill. You know, stress will make people sick. It will make people ill. And during this year in the trailer house, I became very ill. I came down with a disease that back then, medical science didn't even know the name for it. Today, they've named it. It's the ITC disease. But I'm reading the letter from the bank, and they're coming to get my trailer house. And the phone rings, and it's my buddies for the 100th phone call wanting me to come to Dallas and see this network marketing thing. But something happened. I was instantly healed of my ITC disease. Yes, getting your trailer house repossessed will cure the ITC disease. Oh, I forgot to tell you, ITC disease, I'm too cool to do one of those network marketing things. Well, I was instantly healed, and I said, what time is that meeting? I drove to Dallas with 2 problems that none of you have here tonight. The first problem I had was I didn't know if the old car would ever get me home. The second problem I had, if I got home, I didn't know if my house would be there. It's sitting on wheels, and the letter said they are coming to get it. Well, they put me on the front row at this meeting, and the suspense was there. What are we going to be selling? And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm about ready to sell anything as long as it's legal, but I never dreamed of what we were going to be selling. They were holding up a piece of PVC pipe about 1 foot long, full of the black granular activated nasty looking carbon like you put in your fish tank, with a cap glued on both ends, with a hole on one end for the water to go in, a hole on the other end for the water to come out. And he said, this is our product that's going to make us all this money. He said it removes chlorine from the water. Now, I went to this meeting broke and negative, and those 2 things usually go together. But now I'm sitting on the front row getting more negative. I don't have time for all this. You understand? There's no chlorine within 100 miles of that trailer house. Anybody living out there in them woods, they have a well in the backyard, or they're drinking out of the creek, one or the other. So needless to say, 10 minutes into that meeting, and I have my arms crossed, my legs crossed, my eyes crossed. I'm saying, let me out of here so I can go back to being broke. And the further into that meeting they got, the more negative I got. About 30 minutes later, they're telling me I need to spend $5,000, and I'm thinking to myself, if I had $5,000, I would not be here. I'd be home making 2 trailer house payments. But then they got my attention. They said, some of you probably don't have $5,000. I said, you got that right. They said, we can't promise you anything. We cannot tell you you'll make any money here, but we can tell you how to never have $5,000. Just leave this meeting and go back to doing what you were doing before you got here, because it's not working. Now, when you think about that one a little bit, it adds up and makes some sense. But that's how much they wanted me to spend on water filters, $5,000. That was a garage full of water filters, and those trailer houses don't even have garages. One of my buddies helping do the meeting, though, he had been involved for about a month and had already earned $10,000 in his first month. Now, it was not the $10,000 that impressed me as much as it was the guy who had earned it, if you know what I mean. I'm looking at him and saying, I know I'm half as good as he is. So needless to say, I left that meeting excited. I came to that meeting broke with no hope, and I went home broke with hope, and there's a big difference. I go back home, and I said, baby, I found it. And I said, let me tell you something. I know I have a good run left in me. Now, this is the big one for some of you. Do you have one good run left in you? So I said, I found it, baby. I know I have, and I've got one good run left in me. But I said, it's going to cost us $5,000 to find out. And she said, where do you think you're going to get $5,000? And I said, can I please have your wedding rings for about 90 days? Now that was the biggest selling job I've ever done because she gave them to me. Well, the next day I was back in Dallas on East Grand Avenue. It's that first pawn shop on the left. My wife didn't have any wedding rings, but I had $5,000 worth of water filters. The UPS man delivers them a few days later, and it fouled up my life bad that first morning. I got up about 10 a.m. that morning, went all the way from the bedroom to the living room to lay down on the couch and worry, and you can't even find the couch because it was covered up with water filters. But let me tell you something. This changed my life, and it changed my life rather quick. Here we are in a trailer house on a dirt road, not a blacktop road within miles. 2 payments past due in a trailer house, driving my old car that when I left the house, I didn't know if it would get me back home or not. And when I parked it in front of my friend's house, they had to wait 60 seconds for the smoke to clear so they could see, who is this coming to make us rich? True story, guys. We got the largest first month's check that company had ever written, and they were 18 years old at the time. They were the success story in network marketing at the time. And I'm going to say it like this. It was big enough to get me out of the woods in a hurry. Christmas week of 1987, I was moving back to Dallas in a bigger house than that one I moved out of for Christmas of 1986. And I made the trip in my new gold Mercedes. And my wife got a bigger diamond than that one I took to the pawn shop. Yes, I came back and earned more money in 1 year than I had earned in my entire lifetime. A lot of your success is attitude and timing. Bill Gates credits his success to being in the right place at the right time and taking action. Most all of us have been in the right place at the right time before and did not take action and did not make money. And we have all thought we were in the right place at the right time before and took action to discover we were not in the right place at the right time and did not make money. It takes both. And the problem is, after we think we're in the right place at the right time, and we do this 2 or 3 times to discover that we were not, it's easy to get a little negative. What you have to realize is when one door closes, another one always opens. The danger is we spend so much time looking at the door that closed, we never see the one that opened, and you miss your opportunity. Don't miss this one. For some of you, it starts with, forget yesterday, you can't change it, but you can change all of your tomorrows. If you lost millions yesterday, you can't get it back, it's gone. Forget it, but you can make it back bigger than you ever had it before. I have a simple philosophy. It does not matter how many times you fall, it's how fast you get up, brush yourself off, and go again. It doesn't take as long to make it to the top this time as it did last time because you're a smarter person this time than when you did it last time. People that make excuses don't make money, and people that make money don't make excuses. Join the independent thinkers, the entrepreneurs, and the doers. Go to work for the best boss in the world, you. What happened to the I cans instead of the I can'ts? We all have that protective mechanism inside of us to protect us from failing, but it also protects us from winning, protects us from succeeding. Think about this. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. That's why we call it the present. Don't waste it. Life is brief at the longest. Don't settle for making a living. Make a life. J.C. Penney was 50 years old and bankrupt and in a mental hospital and then became a billionaire. When things go wrong, don't go with them. And if it's hard, you do it hard. When you think small, you are disqualifying yourself. There's times it looks insane to live for your dreams, but it's more insane to live without one. I'll say it again, circumstances don't count when the dreams are big enough. Think and Grow Rich tells us we fail because our friends, neighbors, and relatives talk us out of our dreams. You have to have great dreams and say, I am going to fulfill them. By the way, Zig Ziglar says you've not heard everything on a tape or a CD until you've listened to it 21 times. If you don't like the size of your bank account, this is a good one to listen to 21 times. And I'm going to close with a story. Every morning in Africa, a gazelle wakes up and knows it must run faster than the fastest lion or it will be killed and eaten for breakfast. Every morning a lion wakes up, it knows it must outrun the slowest gazelle or it will starve to death. Well, it doesn't really matter whether you are a lion or a gazelle. When the sun comes up, you better be running. Do you have one good run left in you?